I am an adaptive fashion designer, so I create clothing for the disabled community. I do what I do because as a wheelchair user, I can't walk into a shop and pick up clothing that works for me and my body now. I've got a colostomy bag, I've got catheters, at one point I had a feeding tube, and I needed to be able to access all of those through my clothing, and there was nothing out there. So I started designing and making for myself. And then the power of Instagram has given me a forum where I can make for other disabled clients as well now. Especially when you're in hospital or if you're having a lot of treatment, if you wear generic clothes off the high street, you've got to be taking them off all the time for doctors to assess your body or to access ports. And there's nothing worse than like having your whole body on display when actually all they need to see is a little bit of it. So from a dignity point of view, and I think a lot of people assume when you become disabled, you're quite happy to live in joggy bottoms or pyjamas because you'll never have a life again. But actually that's so far from the truth. There are so many more people that are working or that go to events and want to look great and feel great. So it's been quite emotional at times, quite spectacular when somebody puts clothes on that has been made for their body for the first time. So I dressed a gentleman earlier this year who is 40 and he's never been able to wear clothes that fit him. And just to see the look of joy that he's now comfortable, his trousers aren't too long from him rolled up, and you just can't explain it. And when you hear from parents who feel confident to pick their babies up for the first time because they've now got clothing that allows their central lines and feeding tubes to come out, and they feel confident enough that they're not going to hurt them, you just want to do it more and more. I think, like any creative, we love what we do, and especially because I was working with people that were disabled or chronically ill or terminally ill, you want to give as much of yourself to them. And for a long time I'm like, I'll just do it for you. I don't need pain, I'll just do it for you. But it gets to a point where it's like, actually this is now technically a full-time job and this is costing me. So I started off just asking for people to cover the cost of their fabrics. And then slowly I'm like, actually I've got a value as well, and I've got a worth, and my knowledge and experience is worth something. And that's when I decided that I was going to be setting up as a company, and I was going to set my prices and I was going to get paid for it. They generally are one-to-one commissions, so someone will come to me either with an idea or an event. So for example, I make dresses for a lady who takes part in pageants. So she will come with an idea in her head of how she wants to look, and we will design and make it for her. The children's clothes that I'm involved with, that is, a lot of that is through funding. So we have funders, we've got angel investors, so they get what we're trying to do to make children's lives a bit better and a bit easier. So I've been disabled for 16 years now. CETA's only been going for 3. I wish that I'd been brave enough to start it earlier, because I'd have been able to impact so many more people's lives. I'm Paylor-Bent, I'm an adaptive fashion designer, and I create fashionable and functional clothing for the disabled community.